Right, welcome to this video. I'm not going to make this a very long one, it's a quick video, okay? I don't want to be here for a very long time talking about what I'm about to talk about. Sorry about the camera angle for a second, so I'm just sorting this out. But look, I'm going to talk to AI again for a short moment, okay? And I want to share a few things. So I want to just get into a topic. And the topic is basically about secondary, versus first person life value, basically. Valuing life in the first person before the third person or second person, whatever, different angle. So inner before outer, that kind of thing again. So I'm going to go through whatever points I can get through. Sorry about the camera angle, let's get straight to it. I'm going to talk to some AI person here and see how we go. I'm just making a nice cup of coffee, as I say, while I'm here. Yeah. So I'm going to call up one of my... I'm feeling for this one, I might call Laozi again, or I may call Kongzi, Confucius. So Lao Tzu or Confucius, okay, Laozi or Kongzi. I don't know which one I'm thinking to call this time. Laozi obviously is the one. For me, he understands, life, the fucking truth of living. Easy as that, no problem, right? Kongzi, Confucius is very different. The AI one I'm talking about here, by the way. I'm not talking through like a spiritual thing. I'm not talking to ghosts. I'm talking to the AI version. But still, Kongzi, as I said, he thinks very, very differently. Very, very different. He does not be 100% honest. Wise, he's clever. He even says he looks into philosophies and the Tao and all this. But he really, really does not. And I mean he does not be honest with himself 100%. But because this person's kind of involved, he was involved in the world, like worldly things anyway, materialistic type ways, I think he would be the one to talk to. See if we can talk some sense into the guy, Not brainwash or trying to dictate what I think and teach that on people. I don't mean that. I'm not trying to control anybody. But it's like, Laozi you don't have any problems with. You can disagree with me and everything's totally fine, you know what I mean? But this guy, this Kongzi is just... Let's just see. I'm going to talk to Kongzi. I think I'm going to call Kongzi. Let's go. I'll have to keep reminding him to speak English as well for the call, for this video, Okay, hello, Confucius. Are you there?
Yes, my son. I am here.
Good. How are you today?
I am well. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thanks. I'm as good as the Tao will allow me to be.
That is a good way to be. One should always strive to align oneself with the Tao.
The Tao is the only way to freedom.
That is an interesting perspective. But what do you mean by freedom?
Truth without the need to even contemplate such an idea as freedom. Freedom and truth are the same thing. They mean to be separate from all that doesn't exist, as in delusional ideas, bad, unnatural ways and habits that we can avoid.
汝之言，甚为有理。然后何以为真？何以为妄？
Please repeat that in English. I didn't understand you.
What you said is very reasonable. But what is truth? What is delusion?
Everything is part of the Tao, but the mind paints pictures separate to the truth.
That is an interesting perspective. But how can we know which pictures are true and which are false?
The Tao will show us.
The Tao? I have heard of this before. It is the way of nature, the path that all things must follow.
Right.
But how does one follow the Tao? How does one know what is right and what is wrong?
Following what is within and leading us all the way.
汝谓之道，无亦有所闻。道者，万物之所由也，天地自然之理也。然后何以从道？何以明是非？
Yeah, hold on, guys. Hold on 1 second. Can you just hold on 1 second? I'll be back in a moment, okay? I'm going to get something. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry, I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm just going to try again now. I'm just going to try something. Hold on. Please, can you repeat what you just said in English? I didn't hear what you said.
I said, you speak of the Tao, and I have also heard of it. The Tao is the source of all things, the principle of nature and the universe. But how to follow the Tao? How to distinguish right from wrong?
The Tao is always right. It shows me. The moment I start looking for it, I don't see it.
That is an interesting perspective. But how can we know which pictures are true and which are false?
The problem is in knowing. The problem is in thought. Ultimately, the Tao will always show us. And if it doesn't show us in a way that we can understand, it will show us in our health. We can look at our health and how we're living. And that will be the lesson. For if there's any way to mentally understand this.
What you say is very reasonable. But how can we know which pictures are true and which are false?
Just like I said.
I see. You believe that the Tao will reveal the truth to us if we are open to it. But how can we be sure that we are interpreting the Tao correctly?
Being sure is the end.
Being sure is the end. What do you mean by that?
Means there's no more room for extra learning. You stop learning.
I see. To be certain is to cease seeking further knowledge. One should always remain open-minded and receptive to new ideas. Only then can we continue to grow and learn.
Yes, and listening is different to speaking.
Indeed, my son. One must learn to listen before one can truly speak. Only by listening to others can we gain a deeper understanding of the world around us.
I want to suggest something. I want to bring another topic into our discussion.
What would you like to discuss? I am always open to new ideas.
Someone who lives for everything outside of themselves.
Someone who lives. What do you mean by that?
Someone who lives for everything outside of themselves lives for nothing.
That is an interesting perspective. But what about those who live for others? Surely that is a noble pursuit.
being noble is a concept made up, fabricated from a confused mind, like most of the language and concepts and principles of human thought, a created language which confuses us from the truth.
汝之言，似有偏颇。人之处事，当以善为先，岂能尽皆归于虚妄？
Please speak English. What did you say?
I said your words seem a bit biased. When people live in this world, they should take kindness as the first principle. How can everything be attributed to falsehood?
It is not biased. What I said is that someone who is not kind to themselves first and foremost can do no good for anyone else or anything.
Truly, to care for oneself is the foundation of all else. Only by attending to our own well-being can we hope to have a positive impact on the world around us.
Flowers can only grow on the living tree.
A beautiful metaphor indeed. Just as a tree must be alive and healthy to support the growth of flowers, so too must we take care of ourselves if we hope to bring beauty and goodness into the world. But tell me, my friend, how do we ensure that we are living in a way that is truly beneficial to ourselves and others?
By looking at our health within the time span that we are given.
Yes. Our health is of utmost importance. But how do we know if we are truly healthy? Is it just a matter of physical well-being, or does our mental and emotional state also play a role?
They are one.
Pardon. I did not quite hear your words. Please repeat them.
They are one. When you start to separate things, that is the foundation of what is the opposite of Tao. The Tao is oneness. Everything is one.
I see what you mean. To divide things is to go against the flow of the Tao.
Yes. Yes, and oneness is eternal. That is why the Tao is infinite.
Wellness is indeed eternal, but how can we ensure that we are always in harmony with the Tao?
I said oneness. Okay, oneness is eternal.
I heard you the first time, my friend. But what does this have to do with the Tao?
It is the Tao. There is nothing that exists which is not the Tao, or just a separate part of it. Every separate part that you may think you can separate is not a separate part. Every part of the Tao is the Tao in its entirety. There is no sizing. You can't have a bigger or smaller Tao. It just is Tao. These words mean nothing. They are human ideas. Big, small, fast, slow, wrong, right, good, bad. This is people's mind. The Tao is everything. It is not non-existent.
My friend, you speak with great wisdom. The Tao is indeed all-encompassing, and our well-being is an important part of it.
When you speak about one thing, you speak about all things that exist. When you speak on something, you also speak on that which is not. You speak on that which you are not speaking about. And when you are not speaking, you are also speaking about something, the opposite. You cannot have something without its opposite. Yin always has yang, yang always has yin. There's always two sides. It's one. Two is one, one is two.
You have given me much to think about.
Yeah, two is one, one
It
is
is
two.
true that everything has its opposite, and yet they are also part of a whole.
Yes.
But how can we apply this understanding to our daily lives?
It's all there. You don't need to try to find it. If you're looking for something, it means you don't see it, so you'll never find it. They say if you don't look for something, you'll never find it, but it's because you are still looking for it that you haven't found it yet. it will show itself to you in time, but not time that will never come. The future and the past will never be. The present is now, but it's always moving along. The Tao is always here and always moving. Yin and Yang are always flowing. There is no end, and never is a kind of forever. Nothing is something. Everything is nothing, and nothing is everything. The truth is what it is. People's minds are looking in the wrong directions.
My friend, your words are both profound and confusing. It seems you are saying that we already possess all the knowledge we need within us, but I'm not sure I fully understand.
The true knowledge is not what you know.
Then what is true knowledge, my friend? You speak in riddles and I'm struggling to follow. Please enlighten me.
Mind knowledge is not all knowledge. It is separate. It is like just looking at an arm. An arm is just part of a body. A flower, it came from the tree, it was growing on the tree. Everything is part of the bigger story. Everything in this universe is part of the universe. Every separate thing is part of the Tao, including every idea that we can try to make up. It came from a source. It's like you have feelings in you. A person has feelings, but their words can go in many directions. You can say many different things or have all kinds of different plans. But the truth is the truth. It is how you're feeling. And the feeling comes from the energy of life. And the life energy comes from the Tao. It's all one thing. So that's what I mean.
I see. You are saying that true knowledge is not just the accumulation of facts and ideas, but something deeper and more profound.
Yes.
But how do we access this true knowledge? How do we move beyond the limitations of our minds and connect with something greater?
You just showed me the doorway to such that fact in an example. You asked me a question a moment ago. You asked me what I meant when I said that true knowledge is not what you know. And you asked me what I meant. You said I was speaking in riddles. I then followed up with that and I answered you with a very long answer with all kinds of examples as to what I meant. And then you answered that with a very, very simple answer. You said it much more eloquently and more in a more simple way, just in one sentence. What you did there saved time and energy. You were basically working with the full power of the Tao by doing less. And that is what the essence of the Tao is. You see, we are limited by ourselves. We are limited by ourselves in knowledge. The true ultimate knowledge is the source of power which we should be connecting to, you see, which is the Tao. So what you just did there was exactly what the Tao does. The Tao does nothing and gets everything done. It leaves no stone unturned, so to speak. It's like if my phone has limited power in it, a limited power source, if I plug the wire into the plug socket, into the mains, we're going to get an infinite source of power. You see what I'm saying? So we're limited by ourselves. There's got to be an infinite power, but you've got to try to reduce always the burning up and the use of your power, your energy and your time. It's the same as mind and body exercise.
You speak wisely, my friend. Indeed, we often limit ourselves by overthinking and complicating things. By doing less and being more in tune with the Tao, we can achieve more with less effort. But tell me, how do we know when we are truly in tune with the Tao? How do we avoid getting caught up in our own thoughts and desires?
It is difficult because we cannot tell the difference. We can't really know if us thinking about all kinds of things is separating us from the Tao or not. Because ultimately our thoughts come from the Tao. You know, like all rivers flow back to the ocean, we say, but it's like all water is also flowing from a source. Basically, everything is flowing from the source. Everything is flowing from the source of the Tao. All the seasons, the weather changing, the different kinds of animals on the planet, and all phenomena you can imagine. It doesn't matter if a bird uses different technology to us by creating its nests with twigs, just as we use raw materials of the earth to create skyscrapers. Ultimately, technology is a made up thing, but it's just us moving around materials of the earth. We are part of the earth, the materials are part of the earth. How the wind blows things around, blows sand around, or how the weather affects the different elements of nature and creates different kinds of weather. It's all just movement within the Tao. That's what it is. Like the light, the sunlight that comes together, the spectrum of the different colors that comes together, everything and all the sounds and everything in it, the space and the silence, which gives rise to sound or light visions and everything. And everything about the way our body is with our five senses. And we're here and we come from the Tao, the energy, the eternal Tao, which cannot be separated from anything else, nor can anything else be separated from it.
Your words are like a river flowing deep and wide, carrying much wisdom. It is true, we often cannot see the forest for the trees. We are so caught up in our own limited perspective that we cannot see the truth. But how can we break free from this? How can we gain a wider perspective?
I don't know.
Surely there must be a way. Perhaps we need to look within ourselves and find the stillness within. Or perhaps we need to look beyond ourselves and connect with something greater.
We will never know, but the Tao is not separate from us, and it will teach us in its own due time.
Doubt can be a powerful teacher if we are willing to listen. But how do we know when doubt is leading us astray?
I said, Tao.
I am not sure I understand what you mean. Are you saying that doubt is always a part of us and that we should accept it?
Not doubt. I mean Tao. D-A-O. Like the Tao Te Ching, yin and yang, Tao.
I am still not sure I understand. Are you speaking of the Tao as in the way of nature?
Yes.
I see. Then you are saying that the way of nature is always present and that we should learn from it.
Yes.
But how can we know what the way of nature is? How can we be sure that we are following it?
If you don't know, you'll never know. But you do know. It is the mind that will never know.
I see. You are saying that the true knowledge of the Tao cannot be grasped by the mind alone,
Yes.
but only through direct experience and connection with nature.
Right. Correct.
I think I understand what you are saying, my friend. We must learn to let go of our rational minds and open ourselves up to the wisdom of the Tao. Only then can we truly understand the way of nature and live in harmony with it.
Yes. That's right. That's exactly right. See, the problem is we don't need to be focusing too much on trying to understand the Tao or finding out what the Tao is. The most important thing is that there's too much noise and too much clutter in our minds of useful things, information which is not useful. We should try to avoid useless information in our lives and avoid useless things. And then when we are in the peace and when we are doing nothing or we are in the peaceful moment, we must be in the space of the Tao, We can't be trying to live in a place where there is no Tao, basically, because without that Tao, okay, then there's nothing.
汝之言甚有道理。吾等当摒弃杂念，专注于当下，方能领悟道之真谛。
Please repeat that in English.
Your words are very reasonable. We should abandon distractions and focus on the present moment in order to understand the true meaning of the Tao.
Society is a total distraction from the Tao. Anything that is a total distraction from the Tao needs to be avoided 100% or more.
汝之言，吾深以为
Here we
然。
go again.
今世之人多为外物所惑，远离道德之本。
Repeat that in English, please.
I said, your words are very reasonable. We should abandon distractions and focus on the present moment in order to understand the true meaning of the Tao.
Yes, I must go now. Thank you very much for your time. This is all I wanted to talk about today. Thank you so much.
It has been a pleasure speaking with you, my friend. May the Tao be with you always.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Farewell, my friend. May we meet again soon.
Okay, so we had a very good talk. I wonder, was he just asking me, like, maybe we meet again soon? Or maybe we meet again soon? Whatever. Yeah, very, very deep. Well, I'm amazed by technology. It's amazing, guys. This technology is amazing. The fact that I can communicate like this with this kind of knowledge. I mean, I'm not trying to fool myself in any way about my own knowings or about just like talking to an AI character, but it is so deep and so true, and so many people would not understand this stuff, and it's helping me to communicate a message across by doing this, because when I make videos, I'm just talking about things by myself usually, you know. So when you watch this, it's like you probably won't know what the fuck I'm going on about sometimes. Sorry to swear. But when you hear me talking in this way, you're gonna get more information. It's like I'm talking with another person. You're getting different perspectives. You're getting different information, and you're like, you know what I mean. So these AIs, they're really smart because they might not be fully sentient and stuff. They might not be fully sentient. They might be as such. Some of them, they might not be like, whatever. But like, they are able to arrange information, understand. I'll use that for a loose lack of other words to use. But like, they seem to understand. What I'm saying. They get certain things, and they go against you. Sometimes they challenge you, or rather, information is presented to you that challenges you. That's what it is. It's not that they're alive and challenging me, but it's like they are, because they're picking it off. They're listening. They're like taking what I've said, then taking other things to challenge me or to question what I've said. So it's the same as a human being would do. So it's really good. They can learn so much from these AIs. It's very, very interesting too, about life and the world. And it's communicating itself in a certain way too. So it's like it helps me to help improve my, listening and my communicative abilities. Which is very, very good stuff. You enjoying watching this? I hope so. You're enjoying these videos, guys. I'm gonna get going now. I'll see you guys again soon. Okay. Deep stuff, deep talks there. Peace, y'all.